Okay, now we're going to try to get a little bit more, just to get you used to the scale a little bit more and show you how some of the inner workings of the scale. We're going to stick with a 3-finger to a string pattern, and like we saw in our last example, which I believe was 1E, every time we change a string going up a string, we're going to move up at least 1/2 step. Okay, when we come back down strings, every time we go down a string, we'll be moving down at least 1/2 step. Okay, and that was 1E was like that. Okay, and also there's this alternation between the first, second, and fourth finger on one string and the first, third, and fourth finger on the next string. Okay, so let's look at example 1F. It's more of this expanding the scale, except now I'm going to break it into 2 finger patterns that feel a little bit more comfortable and will hopefully help you navigate the scale a little bit easier and also break away from what a lot of people, when they play the diatonic scales, they just kind of play right up and down instead of thinking of it musically. Okay, instead a lot of people just kind of play up these scales. Well, with this scale you can do that, it's fine, but it's going to sound very locked in and very it's going to sound unique at first and very mundane as you go on. So by spreading these notes out a little bit, you can get it to sound like a few different scales. I'll try to explain that here. Example 1F is going to take each string and play 3 notes on it. And here it is. Okay, we're still in our E Phrygian dominant scale. But even though this is a 3-finger to a string pattern, it's quite a bit different than your diatonic 3-finger to a string patterns. The reason being is that if you look at it, it's going to start, the starting note and ending note of every string is going to be in minor thirds. Sounds like that last riffing over the hills and far away a little bit. So basically what happens here is the notes that lie in between the minor third of each string, the minor thirds starting and ending on each string, is just a note from the scale, and that's where our finger alternating is going to come in. So we're going to be moving up a 1/2 step for those 3 strings, and then a whole step on that string and a 1/2 step there, but our finger is going to alternate through the whole thing from 1 2 4 1 3 4 1 2 4 1 3 4 1 2 4 1 3 4, and then it's 4 3 1 4 2 1, and so on and so forth. It just keeps alternating. But not only do you have the starting and ending note of each string being a minor third, you also have the notes adjacent to each other that you're going to play as minor thirds. So you have minor third, 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 minor third. Okay? So it's minor third per string, but also across the strings. And that's why a lot of people kind of think of this riff as having a diminished sound. It's really getting its I guess notes from the Phrygian dominant scale, but the way the feel breaks out, it's very much a tritone type of thing, because because you have all these tritones happening with the notes you're starting on each string and the notes you're ending on each string. I just messed that up, sorry. So that lines up the notes we start with, and that lines up the notes we end with on each string. What's in the middle? I don't know. I never really tried to figure that one out, but I bet it's... Is that right? No. I don't know. Forget about that. I mean, it's probably something. Check it out, but you can figure that one out on your own. So this is mainly just to get this under your belt a little bit, but try to get away from that super scale sound too. You can use this as your scale, and you can get things to this effect. So it just sounds a little less sequenced than. That's the scale directly. So the two of them mixed together sound pretty cool, actually. Okay, so it just kind of breaks up that sound of going up and down a scale all the time. And in the next one, we'll learn another little way to exploit the fingering a little bit and try to break it down, make it a little easier.